Hello, I'm going to assemble in front of you today the Bandito from Estes Industries. Now I'll probably make a few comments as I'm working, but here we go. These should be the items that you get in the kit. You get the cover, the decals, warranty. It's got a 1-year warranty. A little tiny Estes flyer. Then as far as kit parts go, again we have the decals, we have the body tube, we have the engine tube, we have the engine mount parts, we have 3 fins, this is the launch lug, these are the components for the engine tube, then we have the nose cone and the nose cone shock connector, I guess. Then we have a parachute, and we have the shock cord, and then of course we have the instructions. Be sure to follow and read your instructions. I recommend before you assemble it, know how things go together, and then you want to test things as you put it together. First thing we need to do is we will also need to do this is some model glue. I'm using testers. I have 2 tubes of it. See which ones work. And I'm going to go ahead and get started and show you. We have a ring that looks like this. Hopefully I get it focused. There we go. And this ring. And we're going to glue this together. First I'm going to test fit them. See how they fit together. And they fit one way and do not fit the other way. So the one way they fit together, if you can see that, they'll fit together that way. But this way they don't, no matter what I try to do. So they should be glued into that. It says to apply the glue to this ring. Sure you use your glue in a well ventilated area. Apply some glue to that ring. It'll focus here. Put the other ring in. Again, you don't want too much glue. And then I usually turn it so it starts stiffening. And you can turn it back the other direction. And I want to make sure I don't have too much glue inside. Right? That does need to dry. The next we have the engine holding tube, and this will slide into that. Again, test fit it before you glue it. Again, it recommends you apply some glue to the inside of this ring. And stick your tube in there, and again I like to twist it because it usually creates a better, so it starts to stiffen up. And I've actually pushed the ring apart. That's why you want to kind of let things dry. And I'm going to have to let that dry. I'm going to skip the next part again because I want the glue to dry on that piece. The next part I'm going to do will be this, which is the no, I'm not. Next part I'm going to do is actually skip to the assembly of the nose cone. This piece and this piece. Okay. I'm going to apply the glue. Again, test fit it first. Real smooth. I'm going to apply some glue here. I could apply the glue to this piece, but I'm going to apply it on the inside again. Just run a little bead around at the bottom. Put that together. Give it a little twist till you feel it starting to stiffen. I actually pulled it out to see if I got it all the way around, and it looks like I did. And again, I need to let that dry. We have this and this assembled. See how it's doing over here with this? That feels like it's stiffening up. Yeah, that's stiffened up nicely. You could use some super glue if you know what you're doing, but I'm going to use the model glue they recommend. Next part is this piece. It's again a little ring, but it has a little ridge to it. Hopefully it'll focus in there on it. There it goes. It says to put the glue on the inside of the ring. I put it in towards the end. Just inside the tube. Then again, I'm going to slide my piece in here. I did have to clean up this because of the molding on it. It was had a couple little bumps there. Then again, I'm going to twist it. My glue doesn't set real quick. I am going to pull it out and take a quick look at it. I've got glue all the way around it. So this should hold the the engine stop ring or engine whatever. It stops the engine from flying out into your body tube. Hopefully that'll all dry. And we also want to make sure we don't have so much glue down here. And I'm going to use a knife right here to make sure I don't have any glue down here in the bottom preventing the engine from going in. Alright, so the engine holder. Now assembled, and you can see the top there. Nose cone, now glued. Stiffening up. The next part is a little bit complicated. It's these three pieces right here. You'll see one of them has two rings, two little ridges. 1, 2. The other two have just one right there and right there. Okay? These will fit around that. Alright? So now what we're going to do is we're going to glue this piece to this. And I recommend you test fit it, but there's a little ridge right here. Hopefully you can see it. See the little ridge right there? It will fit up against this piece of this assembly. Right there. As a matter of fact, you set it right there, slide it down, see how it fits, and it fits nicely. It'll actually stop up against this. So now, what you want to do is you want to apply glue here on this top part and here at this part. Again, don't over glue it, but you gotta make sure you have enough. So I'm gonna apply some glue right here and apply some glue right there. And I'm going to assemble it. Watch my assembly. Right there, like that. Then I want to hold this for a while, but I would recommend you actually have some rubber bands. They'll hold this very nicely while you're waiting, or tape. And no, these don't really matter what particular order you place them. Just make sure that they're straight on here. Then we do another one. Same way. Again, you can test fit it, but it'll fit right next to that first one. Right there next to it, see? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply the glue to this. Right there in the ring. Right in here. And then what I'm going to do, depending upon which side I put, I'm going to put a little dab of glue right there and right here just to help hold it. And slide it on there. Push it up against. And this is what you should have now. Again, for the third one, apply glue right down here, right up here, and then I'm going to put a drop of glue right on this side and this side, and right here at the top on both sides. And then I'm going to put my piece into place. And I will hold it for a while. Again, a small piece of rubber band or tape to help hold it would be a good idea. Alright, you need to let the glue dry. Next, you'll note on your body tube that one end has these little holes in it. There's one, there's two, slot, and another slot. The slots are for the fins to go into, but the fins will connect to this. The two little holes are for your launch lug to fit in. what you'll want to do is see the one with the two sides, two rings, and these right here, those little ridges with little bands in them, is where the fins are going to mount. They'll mount right in there, into each one of these. The double section needs to be in line with these two holes, like this. Then these bands need to be in line with those, because that's how they're going to hold the fins in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide it in, test fit it right to there. It is tight. I may have trouble getting it back out, and I do. So don't test fit it. Till everything is dry. If you do get into this problem, you'll need a sticker rod or something. Ah, here it comes. Alright, now we'll need to glue this back on. And again, when you're assembling, it's a good idea to wait to let it dry. If it is a tight fit, you can sand this end right down here, or again, with your parents' permission, or if you know how, take a knife and smooth it up. I recommend either a file or a piece of sandpaper. Normally you don't have to do this, but this is a little tight. That's a little tip. So remember, these two rings will fit right here with the two holes, and these long areas will line up with the slots in the tube. So it's going, as a matter of fact, you want to apply a little bit of glue here on the inside. To help hold it, but the fins in the launch lug will hold it too. Okay, there's a little bit of glue on the inside. And again, remember, those line up. If you get them off, it's really hard to get them back. But as you see, you should have those two little green things sticking through. And on this one, you should see one little green thing. That means that this did get into the correct place. This got in the correct place. And there's a spot for the next fin. And there's a spot there for the next fin. You see the little green ring right there? and the two right there, it's basically ready. Next, we'll put in the fins. And you want the fins to line up with the body. Straight up and down. Let's hold it this way and I'll show you. That's pretty straight. So that was a test fit. Now it's time to glue. They show you applying the glue right here. I agree, but I disagree. I recommend you apply the glue inside here. And you can be a little bit liberal with it. Put a little extra. Not too much. And then you slip that into there. Make sure it's straight up and down. Then I'm going to do it again right here. I'm going to put the glue in here, giving it a little extra. And then I'm going to put the fin into it. To me, that usually holds much better. And they snap in. If they don't hold, then try it their way. Glue. In the hole. And then the fin. Check to make sure that they are perpendicular, best they can be, straight up and down. Then again, you may want to put some tape around here or rubber bands to help hold it. Then I'm going to glue the launch lug in place, and I'm going to again apply the glue here, but I'm also going to apply some glue so that it touches right here in the center as well. That will help hold it. You may want to also sand this so you don't have any extra edges. I'm going to clean it out with a pocket knife or a sharp knife or something. Sometimes the molding can get in the way. Again, I'm going to put the glue here in the hole, and then I'm going to put some right in the center. See how I did that? Then I'm going to glue. Put the launch lug on. It should fit on the outside. And now hopefully it'll stay there and I can let it dry. Do not be in a rush. It is also nice if you have a stand. I'm going to put it this way, and that takes the pressure off the fins. Or you have a stand to hold it up right here. That'll again help take the pressure off the fins, you know, like through the engine block. I don't have one. I can set this way, but it does kind of cause the fins, if they're not glued right, to come out. You can just go ahead and lay it down, or pick up something. Apologize for what I picked up. To lay it on while it's drying. At this point in time, we've got the engine mount assembled. inside the body, we got the fins attached to the launch lug. We have our nose cone with our nose cone end. For the shock cord done. And then we have a couple parts left over here, which are not left over. These are the locks to lock the engine in place during launch. We have our shock cord, and we have our parachute. Our next step will be to assemble our shock cord. This I recommend you get some white glue for, because it will work better. And your shock cord mount is right here. You can use it if you want, or you can cut another one. I will go ahead and cut this one out. Again, scissors will work better. Be sure to follow directions and listen to your parents if you're a young person. If you're an adult, please be safe when you are doing stuff. So we've cut it out of the instructions. Now it sits there and has 1, 2, and 3. And I will go ahead and fold it along between 1 and 2 right here. You could also, if you just want to make sure you're doing it perfectly, you could go this other direction. It's fine. There's 1. 2 and 3, just like that. Fold it the other way if you want to. And then, again, they recommend you use white glue. I agree, white glue actually does a good job and holds it nicely. Or even wood glue. Wood glue would work correctly as well. So now what you want to do is you want to glue the shock cord to these. Now, I'm going to pull it back over so you can see the 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to apply some glue. They show you applying it on 2. I apply it on 1. And then I'm going to put the end of my shock cord, the rubber cord, on there. I do not go past this fold. Alright. Now I will go ahead and I'll put some on too. And I will fold this up to 2 and press it together. Now I have it sticking out of 1 and 2 assembly, and now I'm going to glue it to number 3. I'm going to put some glue on both sides of it, right here, and over here, and I would do this again also if it was the white glue or wood glue. Bring this over and fold that. So now, squeeze it, of course, hold it, let it dry. This is what we've got. That's the shock mount. Glue inside the tube. We need to let this dry. While all these things are drying, we can now open up the parachute. It is my experience that working with this particular model, I don't think it should use a parachute. I don't mean to be critical, but to me the parachute has a hard time fitting into the body. First of all, it's quite big, it's longer than necessary. And number two is that it usually causes this thing to come down very, very, very slowly, in my opinion. It's not likely that it's going to break very badly if it's glued up correctly, and I've seen a few where it wasn't glued and fins come off, but you can glue them right back in. I haven't seen anything, like I said, break. My recommendation is, instead of using the parachute, if you have streamer material, I'd probably add a streamer. But I'm going to go ahead and assemble this with the parachute, because that's what they have designed. It works, it's fine. I just personally think a streamer would be a better option. Here's the parachute, and it's got 3 sets of cord coming off of it. I typically will find the middle of it by sticking my fingers through all 3 of them. Till I come down here like this. See that? There's the parachute. There's the end. If one's twisted, I might untwist it. Again, it doesn't matter much. And it may not untwist. But you find the center of it by holding this. Then you can attach it to the nose cone. The easiest way is to take the loops, stick them through here. I find out if you have a little hooked piece of wire, it becomes much easier. But you can slide all 3 through. If your parachute is assembled with 3 strings with a loop at the end, you can just take your parachute and stick it through the loop, just like that. And that will hold it very nicely. I hope you saw that. Alright, so now the parachute is attached. And again, it depends upon which order you want to do this. You can now glue your shock cord into your body tube and then tie it to your nose cone. Or you can tie it to your nose cone and then stick this in the body tube. I'm going to go ahead and stick this into the body tube. Now, a lot of people see there's this side and this side where the shock cord comes out. I like to have the shock cord side with this extra material glued to the inside of the body tube. This will be facing outside. This will be facing inside. I like it that way because it gives it more area to adhere. And there's actually a little bit of binding right here where the shock cord comes. Some people do it this way, which is fine, with the shock cord coming out, but I'm basically giving it another fold inside. And some people will even do it this way. They'll take that last side, bring it over, and glue this into the body tube this way. Down, coming up. That basically gives you another side where it's adhered to the material. It is your decision and your call on what you want to do. But any of those ways are fine. I'm going to do it again my favorite way, which is I'm going to put the glue in this large area all over it, and I'm going to stick it out too. It is best to curve it. Okay. Another important thing is to remember that you've got this amount of nose cone that sticks down into the tube. So you'll want to attach this shock cord below that point, because this can bind nose cone in there if it gets down to it. So you need to have it probably an inch down there. It shows 1.5 inches, and I recommend you do the 1.5 inches. If you're unsure, it's about a pinky's. Depending on how big your pinky is, it's about that far. If you want, you had a spare engine tube, which you can use a spare engine tube. You can use it to align it, or a ruler if your ruler fits in there. Right now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to apply a lot of glue on here. And this is not necessarily the best glue, but it does work. It's designed for plastic. And I'm going to slip it well down in there. Easily the 1.5 inches. And I'm going to use my pinky. Press it up against the side. If your pinky doesn't fit, which some people's pinkies are big, you can take a stick or a marker or something, and you can put pressure on either side of it to hold it in place and press it down. You might even roll it. But you do want it up against the tube, and you do want it. See, mine came out again. Not what you want to have happen. And now that is ready. Next step is to take your shock cord and tie it onto the nose cone. I slipped it through the nose cone piece. And I'm going to tie a knot. Not pulling it too hard, just want to stiffen it up. Then I'm going to tie another knot. You do want to double knot this. If you want to make interchangeable nose cones, you may want to get some of those little fishing clips. Attach your, not interchangeable nose cone, parachutes or streamer, depending upon what the weather is. You may want to get one of those little fishing clips that will hook on here, one of those little hooks or clips, and then tie your parachute to it. Then you can clip on what you want. I used to do that for all my rockets, depending upon what the weather is, to do that. And it made it a lot nicer. So if I did not want to shoot this off with a parachute, because there's a lot of wind, I want to come down a little quicker, I may put a streamer on here by just switching this off and putting a clip on here with a streamer on it. I recommend that you do cut the extra off. I don't have scissors, which is not a very good example of me. You do want to cut the extra to where you do have a little tab sticking out. You don't want to cut it real close to the knot. I will then also apply some glue to this knot. To help seal it. It's not necessary you do so, but that's what I do. And now, this, once you pack your chute in there and you let everything dry, is ready to launch. I'm not going to put this one together. I will show you one that I already have assembled. This is one that I have assembled and flown. can see I have some scorch mark here on the shoe. These little extra engine locks go on the bottom. What I'll do is I'll put in my recovery waddy, stick it down in here, and I usually stick it in through the top instead of through the bottom with the engine. I just like to do it that way, because sometimes if this is too small and this is much wider, the hot gases will go up around the recovery waddy. If you stick it in here through the top, it's going to probably fit the inside diameter of the tube and not have the gases escape. So I'll grab the parachute and I'll just kind of bring it together. In this case, I know that's way too long, so I will kind of fold it in half. This is about as far as I go when I pack a chute. I don't go ahead and start wrapping this around because I'd like my chutes to work. You can wrap it, you can find out what works for you. At this point in time, once the recovery wadding is in there, I will stick the chute in there. Again, this chute is kind of tight. And I will stick it down in there. And then I'll stick the cords on top. I found out that when I launched this, that the nose cone was very loose on it. To tighten it up, I put some tape on this little ring where it fits in the tube. I found out that that will help snug it down a little. I do not want it too tight. It needs to just be snug, not fall out during flight, but yet stay in there, but come out easily when the engine parachute charge comes out. That's nice. It's just what I call snug. Alright? Now, I will then go ahead. I've got to glue this back in there on this one. Which is fine, I will do that. Fixed. Now I will go ahead and fix up the engine, put the igniter into it, put the engine in here properly with the igniter hanging out. I will then clip this into place using one of these rings, and these rings I'm glad they give you extras because you do lose them. You put it on there to where those two little catches fit over the two little catch spots here and here. You put it on there, then you will turn it to lock it in place, and you turn it till it stops. Did you see that? Now this would be ready to launch. I haven't put the stickers on. I may go ahead and do that on one of these. Why don't I go ahead and do it on this one, I guess? So I'll put the stickers on now. The cover shows them having green in here as well as the other, but there's no green up here around the Bandito. There is on the fins though, so I'm going to stick the decals on right up against the body tube. Not wanting to go where I want it to go. And again, it's near the bottom of the fin, just like this. There's one, and I will continue around. And then I'll add the Bandito. Up here at the top. I don't like to put it where the launch lug is, so I'll go over one of them. And we'll leave a little gap at the top. Finish adding the pieces for the fins, and we're done. That's the Estes Bandito. A nice little rocket. I've flown them. I enjoy flying them. Again, my recommendation for me, I enjoy getting a better recovery with it's kind of a light rocket, so I usually like using a streamer instead of a parachute. That's just my preference. There you are. Hope you've enjoyed that. Come back for more.